At the California School of Public Policy. Now, very early on, you indicated that you're quite happy that this era of Osama bin Laden has come to an end, which I think a lot of people in this room probably share. But my question to you is, do you feel that the way in which this era has come to an end was befitting of a world leader, in the sense of, an action that took place at night and arguably was targeted at a man that did not have much control left over the organization, which is actually being targeted, and in the end, that the fact that an unarmed man was killed instead of detained. I mean, how do you view that, and how do you view the American reaction, particularly the American political reaction to those events?
Well, it's complicated. I think it's a good question. I think the kind of sort of triumphalism that you see in some part of American sports culture is part of America, and it's not, I don't have a great enthusiasm for it, but I would say it's, part of the story. And somewhat understandable given the American understanding of 9/11. As you probably know, the U.S. is a strange country, I would say. And there's, while I'm a very proud, enthusiastic American, I would say there's a lot of odd phenomena that are American. And so for Americans, 9/11 was just unbelievable, as I say. I think we almost lost our mind because Americans had come to imagine that we lived in a security bubble in which, in the U.S., you were secure. Terrible things happened in other places, and we saw them on TV as citizens. And then American troops would go and help deal with these problems wherever they were, but they weren't part of our lives at home. And so when the notion of people coming into American territory doing something of the sort that you see in London, with bombings before, or another, this seemed like a violation of some, that whatever the rules of the game were, Americans could go other places, but people couldn't come to the U.S. That was an illusion, but when illusions are punctured, that's complicated. And so it's understandable, I think, that in this person who was the perpetrator of that being finally dealt with, created a sense of euphoria on the part of a lot of people. So I would say that's understandable in terms of the phenomenon. Now, I think in terms of the operation, we'll learn more as we watch. But my impression was that the operation would have preferred to capture him than to kill him. But presumably the orders were prevent American casualties to the maximum extent possible. And so therefore the specific circumstances in which he happens to have been shot, as I say, I think we'll learn more about that. He actually would have been more valuable if you had kept him, because then you would learn a lot from him. And I think the fact that the Special Forces SEAL team that went in took so much information means that this will be a great guide to the rest of the terrorist network and operation. But I'm sure he would have been able to add a lot of value. So, as I say, the specifics there, I don't know. And then the idea of doing it in another country without informing the authorities, I think we'll have some, this will become an issue to try to think about, because right now, the first approximation idea that says sovereign countries, states should not go into and use force without agreement from the other state unless they're at war with them is kind of the first idea. But since 9/11, the so-called Bush Doctrine says if terrorists are operating in your territory with your complicity, that's a legitimate target for the U.S., whatever. That's not exactly consistent with past international law, but it's becoming to be more customary, I would say. And then in the, what Astrid had said earlier, I think is right, that the absence of confidence that even the highest authorities in Pakistan weren't somehow complicit or wouldn't be complicit in the escape of Osama bin Laden. It tells you everything about a relationship that's obviously extremely troubled. So it's a good question.
Here, please.
My name is Tyler Couch